Chyna. We are doing our podcast live here at Stir.
Yes.
And I'm so excited to be here with you. I am Titia Owens, the madre.
Hey y'all, I am Chyna Elizabeth, the daughter. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. We are so. Ooh, that was a nice little.
Okay then. Okay.
You usually don't do this.
Little song.
We're so excited to be in the room with so many amazing women. And the thing about it today is we're going to deal with the topic of Titus 2, scriptures 3 through 5. And the thing about Titus 2, it is basically about older women teaching younger women. And so I'm going to share this tidbit. It says Titus 2, 3 through 5. It emphasizes the role of older women in the church to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers, or addicted to too much wine, and to teach what is good. They are to train younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled, pure, working at home, kind, and submissive to their husbands. This passage underscores the importance of mentorship and the transmission of godly wisdom and behavior from one generation to the next. And that is a call to us women here today. And the thing about older women teaching younger women, it doesn't matter your age. You are considered the older woman to someone who is younger. It doesn't matter if you are a teenager or if you are a full-blown adult. You have been called to teach younger women. If you're 15, you are teaching a 12 or 13-year-old. If you're 50, you're teaching a 40, 45-year-old. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the process of teaching older women teaching younger women. Excuse me for that. So, Chyna, who are you?
I am Chyna Elizabeth. I'm her daughter. But, I just learned about the Titus 2, 3, 5 thing a few years ago. My mom actually had a birthday where she had the theme of the event be Titus 2. Mm-hmm. And I realized then I'm older than somebody. Like, I have to be a mentor to somebody, and I have to take on that role. And I can be a little introverted. So I was not too fond of the whole idea at first, but as I've gotten older, I've had to realize that it's very important. And even with me having you and a lot of older women around me
Yes.
to pour into me, it is very important, and it has helped mold me into who I've been today. So I, gotta play into that role a little bit.
I love
for the
that
younger
you're
people.
accepting the call.
I guess.
And that's the thing. I'll say with my mom. My mom is here. Say hi, Mom.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
so,
Mom.
Wait, let the people see you. Hey.
Hey.
So with my mom, she has definitely been a light for me. People always say I do 5 million things or I have 5 million jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Where I got that from my mom. My mom was one, she worked for the government, but she also had her own cosmetic line. She was selling clothes out of the trunk of the car. We were always doing something. She just always had additional ways to make income. So
Mm-hmm.
my mindset was always to be an entrepreneur because I saw that you can do multiple things. Not only did she do all those things, she was coming home being a mom, taking care of the family. She's also a great cook. So all those things. Now, I can't take on that attribute as far as a good cook.
At all.
I don't really claim that fame. I don't have a love for that. However, I will do it. But what I'm saying is I learned a lot from my mom. And that's what I've tried to do with my daughter. The reason why we have the relationship that we do is because I was intentional about having time with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And Chyna, will you kind of speak to that? What do you feel I brought to bring our relationship together?
Well, just like you said, you were very intentional. As I kind of mentioned, I am introverted, so I wasn't a child that really liked to communicate and talk too much. So she really had to pull it out of me to communicate, and I appreciate that you did that, because if you didn't, I don't know where I would be, Lord Jesus. But it was you seeing what was inside of me and bringing that out and making it into the better version of who I am today. And also you surrounded me with a lot of amazing women who just poured into me, and you were always just down my neck a little bit, trying trying to make sure I was, on the right path, and then inspiring me to build my relationship with God as well, so that I would know Him for myself, and to rely on Him and not be so caught up in what other people are doing, and knowing that I'm His child and I don't have to, worry about anybody else.
Right. And one of the things I did with Chyna, and I'm just kind of giving the mothers some ideas, I saw that Chyna wasn't willing to necessarily open up, but the Lord laid it on my heart that I needed to hold a 6 weeks Bible study at my home. And what I did was I asked Chyna, would she be open to having a Bible study at home? And she said yes. And I said, but the thing about it is, I want you to invite your friends to the Bible study. I want your friends to come. And so we had about 15 to 20 people. They were friends of hers and her brothers. They had come to the house, and they were able to share some of the things that they were dealing with. So I had them all write down in notes what they could talk about or what they wanted to talk about that they didn't necessarily feel comfortable sharing with at home. Well, in the process of that, they started opening up to me and telling me more things about their personal issues. I don't know where that noise is coming from, but it's about to drive me. Okay, so then they were, that thing. It's distracting, I'm sorry. I'm usually not distracted, but that noise, Okay, Lord, can you help them cut that out? So the kids would come and share private things, and Chyna had the opportunity to listen to them be so transparent with her mother. And at the same time, this is what I believe. She hasn't said this, but I believe that she's seeing them be so transparent with me and opening up about their personal stories.
For sure.
She thought, well, I have access to her all the time, and I don't take advantage of that. I don't take advantage of the trust that they're giving my mom and the opportunity that they're taking on sharing about their personal stories and their traumas, their ups and their downs. She was able to do that, see that, and so that made her more comfortable. Would you agree?
I definitely agree, but I will say that it is a little easier sometimes than to go to your mom. It's easier to go to someone else who is a mentee. So even if it isn't your mom, I definitely agree with what you're saying. It definitely made me get out of my comfort zone and be like, okay, if they can talk to her, I can talk to you too. You wasn't, going down their necks a little bit. It was more receiving, and you were just speaking into their lives. So I was like, okay, I can do that, and I gradually got to that place to where I was able to open up more. But also, if you're not there just yet, just find someone who is older than you are that can speak wisdom into you and to fill in that role if you're not comfortable with your mom just yet.
And so, Chyna, how would you say going through that process, you shared some, but how did it actually change you? How did it impact you to share with me?
Ooh, okay. It definitely impacted me a lot just because I was so timid. I wasn't necessarily afraid, but I just didn't know how you would react to what I had to say or anything that I was going through. So to know that it was a safe space, it definitely opened me up more to even want to do this, like to be talking and to being in front of people and to letting people in and see me in a different light. It's opened me up tremendously. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Gracias. And what I love about that is seeing her bloom. It caused her to really free up whatever was going on inside of her. And I kept making opportunities for her to talk to me. And then even when they were little, I remember saying, even if you don't want to share with me what's going on with you, write it down. Send me a note. Put it somewhere I can find it. Because sometimes it is hard for younger people, younger women, to talk to either their mother or someone older than them. So they have to figure out ways they can navigate that. And I always just say, get connected to someone you can trust and that you can be honest with, because we are learning from them. We're learning how to be kind. We're learning how to serve even. We're learning how to give. And I wanted to also make sure that I was assisting her spiritual life. So we spent a lot of time praying together. I made sure that we sat down and we were able to talk about the things that they were going through. May it be at school, may it be through peer pressure or things around them. I wanted them to have that opportunity to share what was actually going on with them. And again, that's not always the easiest thing to do. So we have to, as older women, create those opportunities. I know sometimes it's not comfortable to talk about certain things, but I made it in my mind my job was to make it as comfortable, as welcoming as it could be for her to say whatever it is she wanted to share. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. I feel like you've always done that. It was just also me having the heart posture of being able to receive it and to take it in, because you would do the things and, you know, have the Bible studies, we would have our cute picnics and things, but it wasn't until I was able to fully myself want to be ready to open up to you. So that's also a thing too, just having that revelation. And I feel like that came a lot with me building my relationship with God. Him opening me up too, and to being more like him, and to be kind and, you know, lighthearted. So
were you not lighthearted?
You know, I've been told that I was a little mean as a child. And I don't need the okay over there, Uncle Paul. I don't need the okay. But yeah, I had to change my whole heart posture, and that was a process in itself. But I'm glad it happened.
And I would say the heart posture, speaking of that, came from you being honest and transparent. Again, when we're able to talk about the things that are inside, the different experiences that we've had. My daughter had some experiences that she had to come to a place where she was ready to talk about, you know, and that took the Lord touching her heart, saying, you know, I want to be free. And I think you just finally heard that revelation when you felt like, if I do this, or you took the risk. You said, if I do this, I won't have these negative feelings. I won't feel the way I do, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for it and be honest and share what's actually, you know, going on with me. Would you say that's what happened?
For sure, most definitely. And that was a hard process.
Did her mic on?
Hey. Okay. Hey. It was definitely a hard process to come to that realization, because it's like, I don't want to tell nobody my secrets. I don't want to tell anyone what's going on. But it is how I became free and was able to live in a way that I wasn't ashamed of what I'd been through. I wasn't ashamed of who I was, and finding out who I was in that. And it definitely gave me a whole new light, for sure.
And one of the things too I want to talk about is applying principles where we can practice seeking women to mentor. We don't have to wait for someone to come along. There are family members right around us. There are people that we work with, people that we're in contact with all the time, or it's just somebody that may be watching you. We're always being looked at. Someone is always trying to see how we are carrying ourselves, how we are responding to one another. So all those things are considered training. Even though you may not have the mindset, I am training someone, that is what you're doing. That is our call as women. And godliness matters. That is a big deal. I think for me, I knew that I could not just be speaking to my children about the Lord. I had to be walking it out in front of them. It was not just about my words. It was also about my actions and my deeds. I didn't want them to be having to come up with things to say about me that were not true. I wanted them to know who they were dealing with when it came to their mother, who she was, who I was. I wanted to treat them with respect. They were treating me with respect. I treated them with love. They treated me with love. We had opportunities where I opened up opportunities for them to express themselves on a regular basis. That meant something to me, to hear their hearts, to know how they felt. And I gave them opportunities also to tell me when I had shortcomings. I would say, this is a safe space. This is an opportunity for you all to tell me if there are areas in my life that I need to change. Is there something in me that you see that can be better? And I would give them opportunities to have those conversations, because they were respectful, and I knew that they meant that they wanted to encourage me to have a better relationship with them. I didn't take it as a negative, I took it as a positive, because I gave them the permission to do that. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. And having the permission is still a little hard, because you don't ever want to go to your mama and be like, you had an attitude right there, and your tone was not right. So, you know, for me, I had to learn the approach and how to, you know, come the right way, because I'm very blunt, straight to the point. It's like, it is what it is. I just got to say what I got to say. So I had to learn how to come to you the right way. So I will be the one to be writing a note, because it ain't going to come out right. I just know it's not. So I had to learn to get to that point of
Yeah.
just having that grown conversation. I feel like as we've gotten, I've gotten older too, we can, just say things and we not get in our feelings and stuff. We understand each other to a new level. So it's gotten a lot easier over time. But when I was younger, I'd be like, I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that. So, yeah.
So, Chyna, tell us, what were some of the non-spiritual things that I taught you?
Ooh. Okay. It's still okay. So your attitude, I feel like it can get a little high. I'm a very mellow person, but I've learned that certain times, certain situations, you can just get a little heated, just a little heated, and it's only a little necessary, but it's okay. It's okay. I've just learned, and I feel like watching my mom, it's showed me some things just not to do. And also, being late, I have learned to be a very timely person because you are always late.
Always what?
Always late.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Every time. I try to, it's funny though, she'll call me like, are you getting ready? Ma'am, you're not ready. I'm ready, okay? But.
What are you saying?
Yeah, we can move on. Next. Oh Lord, lost the earring. My earring don't fail. Okay.
So. Okay.
What about me?
Non-spiritual things?
Yeah, what do you think I've taken from you?
Non-spiritual or spiritual?
What you want to say?
I want to say that you've taken from me, you understand what serving means.
Okay.
I believe that I've been able to teach you how to love others. I could deal with attributes, but I don't want to really get with the physical side other than I know that I have encouraged fashion and you understand that.
Oh, for sure.
And
makeup.
And makeup, yes. My daughter is a professional makeup artist.
Yes, I
And
am.
again, my mom had her own cosmetic line, so it all ran in our family to do cosmetics.
And you a professional makeup artist as well.
Yes, I'm a professional makeup artist as well. And then we also started doing interior design together as well. That's another thing. Anything that deals with transformation, color, hair, fashion, style, all those things.
Creativity.
Yeah, creativity as a whole. We enjoy doing that. So I would say you picked up all those things. But she is very talented.
Thank you.
And that's one of the things I enjoy doing is what I call highlighting you.
Oh.
Whenever I get the opportunity, when someone talks to me about my daughter, then I just kind of go into this whole, what do you call that when they ask you your bio? Yeah.
Okay.
I go into this whole bio. Yeah, my daughter, she's amazing. She's been doing makeup since she was 10 years old. And what's so great about her is that she could take a brush and make magic. She is a teacher. She's a designer. She's so kind. She does all these things.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Wow. And I'm not good with taking like compliments or any type of recognition. It's like, no. So yeah.
But I like highlighting. I like highlighting her. So that's always a blessing for
Thank
me.
you.
So I would say, do you consider yourself a mentor or a mentee?
I'm working on the mentor part. But I would definitely say, more of a mentee.
Okay.
And even with that, I don't know.
Well, you're always learning from others.
I am always learning. I'm very observant, so I will take in things from a lot of people that I'm around, but I wouldn't necessarily say I just spend a lot of time with certain people to be a mentee or a mentor, but I take in everything.
And what are some of the things that you've learned from some of the other women in your life?
Ooh, so like even with my grandmother, her classiness and how she is a presence in the room and very firm and letting it be known, this is what I need, this is what I want, and letting it be, but with class, it's never disrespectful and just I don't know what else.
Well, that's beautiful. Those things are great.
Yeah, I've taken everything, honestly.
And so what we want to do here, I guess we want to wrap up with just making sure that you're nurturing these relationships. Be intentional about being a mentor or even being a mentee. If you're learning from someone, let them know that you're learning from them. It's always good to have those kinds of conversations to support another woman and telling them how they have impacted you. If there has been someone in your life that has done something great or caused you to have a different mindset about things or learned something about yourself that you may not have even known, let them know. Encourage them, and then also remember that someone is always watching you. And again, when we go back to the Titus 2 woman, she is a person that is kind. She is one that also studies the word. I would say that because she has to know how to be a Titus 2 woman by studying the word, by having a relationship with the Lord, finding out what he would have her to do, and that is not being one that does a lot of talking in the sense of slander or bringing someone else down, always being kind and submissive, and doing kind things in your home, building up your home. That is key to being a Titus 2 woman. Chyna, do you want to share one last thing before we
I want to ask you, what are you okay with? We always in our shows asking each other what we're okay with. So I just would like to know, what are you okay with?
I'm okay with being an example.
Okay.
I enjoy the challenge of having to be right because it is a job. It is something that you have to overcome on a regular basis. Someone is always watching you. But I take on the responsibility of knowing that I am being watched. I take on the responsibility that someone can hold me accountable because, again, I want to grow, I want to be better, and I want to be used. So having that mindset, I'm okay with knowing that someone is watching me, I'm being an example, and it is okay for them to hold me accountable.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I'm going to take it and say the same thing.
What are you okay with?
I am also okay with being an example. I feel like that was the point of this podcast, me coming to you wanting to do this. It was like we needed more mother and daughter relationships, showing that it's okay, to have a relationship with your mom and to grow with your mom, and just to be intentional on showing that there's godly women out here as well who are actually living and striving to be more like Christ.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm okay with.
Yay!
Yay.
Well, what's so exciting about this is it's an opportunity for us to merge relationships, merge conversation, find out who each other is. And so with that being said, this happens for us on a regular basis because we do this podcast where we're able to bond and grow and then learn from other women as well as men. And so with us finalizing our show, we want to make sure that on this podcast that you are liking, sharing, and subscribing. You can go to YouTube each week, every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. and watch the OK Den show. And what else, Chyna? How else can they follow us?
You can also listen on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. And y'all need to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Everything is OK Den Show. Okay, AYDEN. Okay?
Okay. Well, I have had a phenomenal time sharing with you on another opportunity to love on my daughter out loud.
Me too.
Well, we thank you all for joining us on the OK Den show, and now we're going to invite the audience to answer some questions.
Okay then.
Okay.
Are there any questions? Do we have people with any questions? Are we opening up the floor? Or
Yes.
how do we want to do that?
You want to take this mic, Jasmine?
Should we take this one as wireless? Yeah.
Oh, take this one, yeah. So after you all have heard us, we know that there are some things that you all may have a question about or you may want to know. So feel free to take this time to do that. We're going to open it up to you all. Tanty.
You guys did a fantabulous job.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for sharing with us. Really appreciate that. So, of course, you guys are very close. You've been together since Chyna's inception. Some folks at the table wanted to know what inspired you to put together the podcast. Why a podcast?
You want to start?
You go ahead.
Okay, so my daughter was having the idea of us putting together a podcast, and I remember her first saying to me, "Mom, I think we should do a podcast together." And the first time she said it, I went, "Oh, okay," and I moved on and kept on going because I thought she was just throwing out an idea and didn't really mean it. Well, she gave me a little time, maybe some weeks or so went by. She came back again. She said, "Mom, I said I want to do a podcast with you." And I said, "Oh, you were serious?" I thought she was just playing. And so she said she wanted
I
to
don't
do
be just playing. Let me just say that. I don't just say stuff to say stuff, but go ahead.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
But I thought a podcast was pretty huge to take on, so I
Yeah.
thought she was just throwing out an idea. So when she let me know she was serious, we started planning out the process. I believe it was because our relationship had gotten to the place where we had said so much to each other. We had been so transparent and so honest. She felt like, well, now we can let the world in.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So good.
Would you agree?
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Would you do me a favor? We didn't have you stand, Tanty, but would you please stand so we can see you?
Hello everybody, my name is Amari.
Hey.
You guys' relationship is so close. I want to know what binds you guys. At what age do you think you guys got that connection?
Ooh.
Tell the truth.
Was it like my senior year in high school, or was it after high school?
It was after high school.
After?
When we had the Bible study. What year was that? That was because you were done.
21, maybe?
Yeah, you were about 21 years old. Yeah.
Okay, so 2021, after
Yeah.
the Bible study really put the nail in the ground, like this is when I can be fully open and be free, because I just wasn't. So that was the time that we finally got there,
Yeah. So it took a minute.
Yeah.
Again, the reason why we're focusing on that Bible study, because that was definitely a word from the Lord. I was clear on what I needed to do to assist. There was something going on with her that I knew nothing about, but the Lord was like, have this Bible study for her. And in that time, things just became more transparent. With her friends being open again, it allowed her to be more open, and that opened the door for freedom. And she shared so much, and I was so compassionate to her sharing. She felt that there was a deep connection there, and we just built from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies. I'm Robin.
Hey,
Hi,
I
Robin.
had a quick question. So, what was the hardest thing that you ever had to share with your mom?
Ooh,
You're in a position where you're like, I'm going to judge me, what she going to say about me, you're going to be disappointed, or what was the thing that you were like, man,
Ooh.
I'll tell my mom, how do I tell her? Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to tell us. per se.
No, because we're transparent on the okay then. I don't share this often, but I was molested when I was younger, and I had told absolutely no one. And the whole situation, the Bible study, it was just kind of like a full circle moment. So I had felt led to tell it at that time, and once I told it, I finally felt free. Like I could, be truly who I am and not feel like something is holding over me, like on my shoulders. So that was the moment where I was like, okay, I can do this. I can be myself, and she knows me fully. And having someone know something about you that no one else knows is a really deep connection for me. So I feel like that really set the tone of the relationship. So yeah.
And I just want to say I was so proud of her for being so honest, because I knew it was hard for her. And
Thank
so what
you.
I did was I just made sure that she felt it was very safe for her and that she could tell me anything. And of course, I just embraced her with love and just told her that she could tell me whatever she wanted to. That had not changed my love. I loved her even more for being so honest, and that just kept going from there. But as you heard, that was hard for her to share. It's still very emotional for her, and it's emotional for me just because I don't like to see my daughter feel any kind of negative way at all, and to know that that was something that I didn't know about, and she wasn't able to tell it for so long, it burdened me, and it just made me want to be there even more for her. Yeah. Anyone else? So proud of you, daughter. One more.
Okay, I love, first of all, how she said she was an introvert, and you decided to speak life into her and bring it out for her, because I would never in a million years think that you were an introvert. Really? No, yes.
Okay.
So full of life and outgoing. And I love that that's just a testament to what your mother poured into you, like out of you, because all too often I'll meet women with daughters and be like, oh, she's just an introvert, and leave it like that. And
Yeah.
I'm going to bring the best out of her. And bring her through that path. So that's beautiful. So with that said, my question to you is, I know your beautiful mother's here.
Yes.
Your relationship, what did you bring on to your relationship with your mother? Yes, mother and daughter. And what did you bring on to you being a mother and daughter? What was the difference, a different dynamic? Or did you learn from your mother the motherly things that you got as a daughter? Did she bring something out of you so you decided to bring it out of your daughter?
Yes. Well, the thing about my mom is my mom has pushed me since I was a little girl. This is not a negative thing to not really know what being a little girl was, but my mom was very teachable. She was always teaching me things that were, she didn't have a level of child or adult. It's like, you're gonna learn this now. You can be 5 years old, you need to learn how to write a check. You need to know how to deposit money into a bank at 7 years old. So she was one of those people, just taught me early on. So my mindset was to have that same mindset with my daughter. She was always teaching me things. I was always ahead of my friends around me when I was doing things in business, because my mom had done business her whole life. And again, she didn't have a thought process of it's too young for her to learn. She taught me early on, and I have embraced that. And the thing about it is, like, my mom is more of the quiet one. I am the loud one between all three of us. I'm
Very
the
much
loudest.
so.
And so my mom, I think she even had to learn how to accept my loudness, because she would be like, that's just way too much. But she allowed me to be myself, and that was what I did with my daughter. I just wanted her, even though she was saying she was an introvert in front of others. She was not like that at home. So my thought process was, it is something holding you back. I need to find out what that is. And once I find out what that is, we can push her through that. And so I asked the Lord to start showing me things that I could do with her. So that just meant spending more time with her, engaging more conversation with her. And I'm one of those people, I'll keep pushing until I get to it. It's because I'm not gonna stop. If I know it's something there, and my kids will tell you that I have a son too. I have 2 other children with my husband, but I'm one that if I see there's something that I need to get to, I'm just gonna have the Lord keep working with me until we get to the bottom of it. And so that's what I'm saying with us as older women. We have to be intentional about these relationships. If we want something, we can't get it. We just have to keep working at it to make it happen. Yeah.
So good.
Okay, anybody else? Is that the last one, Jasmine? Is that going once? Going twice? Okay, can we get a round of applause for camera?